Are you looking for some more quick and easy recipes? Well, come on in. Hey friends, my name's Susan and welcome to my home. Today I've got you 4 quick and easy recipes that I made this week that your family is gonna love. So let me get this ponytail up and let's get to making some amazing quick and easy recipes. Come on, let's get to cooking. It's early in the morning. Let's go ahead and put some chicken in the crock pot to make some Olive Garden chicken and of course some pasta. The first part we're going to be doing is the chicken to go in the crock pot. I've got some Parmesan cheese, I've got a block of cream cheese, some Olive Garden signature Italian salad dressing, and just some chicken breast. Simple, easy, quick, and I'll show you how quick it is to get them ready to roll. The first thing I'm going to do is put about 4 chicken breasts at the bottom of this, or cover the bottom. I'm making a big run, that way I'll have plenty of leftovers for lunches this week. And I think that might be about all it's going to fit. So, that part's done. Next thing I'm going to put in is 2 cups of the Olive Garden dressing. The whole 16-ounce bottle is what I'm going to put in basically. Go ahead and that will cover the chicken, and since this chicken is frozen, it will produce its own fluid, so it'll make a little bit more juice. But that's done. Next I'll cut up the cream cheese into blocks, and I'm going to go ahead and get this put into the crock pot. There you go. I'm going to stir this around just a little bit, see if I can break the cream cheese apart a little bit. You can snip it off with your hands or pinch it off, and that way it would separate out a little bit easier, but this will do, and once it melts down, it's not going to matter that much. But I do like to try to get it separated out just a little bit, so it'll all melt down. And last but not least, about a 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. I am using the finely shredded Parmesan, and I'm just going to pour it over top. You can use the grated Parmesan in the little can, but that doesn't matter as long as you get some on the top. Alright, that looks good. I'm going to be covering this up and putting this on low for 6 to 8 hours, or high for about 4 hours, and then you've got a meal. So I'll show you what it looks like when I come back from work. And when I come home, this is what I found. What I'm going to do is use a meat masher and go in here and basically just shred up the chicken and help distribute all those cream cheese pieces that are in there that haven't completely melted all to pieces. But this is what I call so good. I mean, look at that. Can you see how everything has fell apart? Now let me get some noodles on a plate and we'll be ready to serve up some amazing food. And if you're wanting an amazing meal that is crock pot easy, this is it. A family favorite and is so good. If you've never tried it, you've got to, because this is definitely worth it. I've been working outside most of the day and I am ready for a quick and easy meal tonight. I am going to make a Quesadilla taco pizza. I have got some Tostitos salsa to put down on the base. Got some taco seasoning to put in the hamburger meat. I got some onion, some Cholula, some taco sauce, some Tabasco, Mexican cheese, and of course some hamburger that I'm grilling up in the pan. So let's get everything put together. I've got the hamburger already browned up. I'm going to go ahead and add some onion. This is probably 1 or 2 slices of onion to the mix. I do like a little onion in my tacos anyway, and that's just the way it rolls around here. And I'm also going to add in about a packet of taco seasoning mix. And I'm also going to add a little bit of water to go with that. You just want enough to where the hamburger meat is going to be in the water and absorb all the seasonings. And I'm going to go ahead and let this simmer for just a little bit until all the water is absorbed into the meat along with all those wonderful seasoning mixes. That won't take me just a minute. I'm going to go ahead and cover it and get that done. I have browned the hamburger meat. I have added the onion along with the taco seasoning and the water. I will let it simmer for about 4 minutes now. And about all the water is already absorbed into the meat. So now it's time to actually build the quesadilla taco pizza. And for the quesadilla part of this taco pizza, I am going to put a big burrito grande flour tortilla down. I am going to put some cheese on this. I'm going to make sure that I fill this up pretty well with cheese. I want to make sure that there's plenty of cheese and it sticks to both sides, because I am going to put another one down here in just a second to make the quesadilla. If you're enjoying today's video, then press that little button down below and subscribe. And don't forget to press that bell and the all notification, because you don't want to miss any of the good food and fun. Now I'm going to put the second burrito grande down. And what I am going to do is put this in the oven at 350 degrees for just a few minutes to let this melt up before I put the rest of it on top. Hopefully the top will get a little bit crisp. That'll make it taste even better. So 350 for maybe 5 minutes, and then we'll put the rest of it on top. And that 5 minutes in the oven was just enough time to let the cheese start melting really good. That way when you put on what's on top, it'll make it so good. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of the taco seasoning mix on top. Of course, that is the top of your pizza to begin with anyway. I'm probably going to use half of this. It's enough, I think, to do a couple pizzas, but you know, whenever you cook a pound of hamburger, you've got plenty to utilize. There we go. Got it all stretched out. I probably should have put the salsa on first. I forgot to, but I'm going to add a little bit of salsa onto the hamburger and try to spread it out a little bit. I should have put it on the tortilla before I put the hamburger on, but I jumped ahead because I am hungry and I'm wanting some of this because it's already smelling so good. But this will make the pizza sauce, to say the least, kind of thing on this taco pizza and give it lots of flavor. There we go. Now you can go ahead and put the taco sauce and all that other stuff on here, or you can wait till you get it out of the oven and do that, which is what I am going to do. I am going to go ahead and put some more cheese on top. That way we'll have a nice cheesy pull from the top of the taco pizza. Alright, don't need a lot. Now that's going back in the oven for 5 more minutes. And then we're going to be ready to top it off with a few things, and it'll be time to eat. Now that we have the pizza already done, I'm going to go ahead and put some green on top, a little bit of red on top, and a little bit of taco sauce, which the label just fell off, on top. That way we've got plenty of flavor on top, because you do have a lot of cheese on the bottom there. I am going to go ahead and use a pizza slicer to slice this up. It's crusting a good little bit. That's awesome. Now, let me see how it's picking up off of it. It's doing, look at that, it lifts right off. Let me make sure I've got each of the ends cut real good. That way it'll separate out. Let's go ahead and get this plated up. And here we go. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of sour cream on each piece, because it just makes it so much better. If I had some lettuce or tomatoes, I'd put it on it. I do not. This is what's for supper tonight, guys. I have made this recipe multiple times so far, and I always love it. It's so good, so easy, and your family will love it too. and I want something quick to eat for supper tonight. I'm going to make a Big Mac smash burger. I've got the cheat Big Mac sauce, the secret sauce, because I am in a hurry. Some salt and pepper, got some hamburger, dill pickle chips to put on the Big Mac, a little bit of onion powder, some onion to put on it, some shredded iceberg lettuce. I've got some of these small flour tortillas, and I've got some hamburger. I know it looks unusual. It was frozen. I defrosted it, and it's got a couple colors going on, but it will be just fine. So let me go ahead and get this ready to go on the flour tortillas. I do have a little bit of onion powder. That's because on the normal Big Mac, they have like the little onion pieces on it. I just like a little onion powder on mine. I'm going to go ahead and mix it in with the hamburger meat. And I'm also going to put in a little bit of salt and pepper to get that flavored up, and mix that in just a little bit more. And then once the pan gets heated up, we'll be ready to put this on the pan and get it fried up. I'm going to go ahead and get 2 of the smash burgers ready to roll. I'm going to do the first one, and all you do is get a bunch of hamburger meat and just push it onto the flour tortilla itself. You don't want a thick bunch of hamburger, but you do want it thin, and you do want it all the way to the edges. That way you've got hamburger basically from crust to crust on these. And I'll just do 2 to begin with, and I'll see how many more we can get with this pound of hamburger. Usually I can get 4 or 5 with a pound of hamburger, and it just depends on how thin you make the meat portion as to how many you will get. And of course what size of the tortillas that you're using. These are just about ready to go onto the pan. So let me go ahead and get this one finished up. I've got this on about a medium high. I do not have any oil in the skillet because this hamburger should put off a little bit of juice. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it onto the pan. And you can hear it start to sizzle up. Usually I can get 2 in here. It's going to be kind of tight, but I can make it work. And I'll let these cook up, and then I'll show you what happens whenever I flip them. And I've let it cook for about 3 minutes, and look at all the juice that has come off of this. Now it's time to flip this. And all you gotta do is kind of be careful. Try not to burn yourself in the process. Oop, and that one kind of slid around on me. Now I'm gonna go ahead and pour this juice off because I need these tortillas to crust up, and they're not the way they're going. So let me do that. And it looks like these are about done. I probably should have put a little bit of oil in them so they would have fried the bread instead. But they're getting really brown on the bottom. I don't know if you can see that. So these are actually looking really good. So let's get them off and get them plated up. These did fall apart just a little bit, and you can hear in the background, I've got another bunch frying up. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of the secret sauce on each of them. And I will put a link to the recipe if you want to make your own. But you know what? Whenever you can buy it, and I already had it, I'm making a quick lunch. So that, a quick supper, so it doesn't matter. I am going to put a few little pieces of onion on here since I couldn't put it in while I was making the meat. I didn't think it would stick well, which this time it didn't stick as good as it did last time. But that is okay. Some onion. I'm going to add in a couple pickles on this and the other one. There we go. A little bit of cheese, which I did not have any shredded regular, but I've got Mexican, y'all know. Just going to put a little bit of cheese on top. And I did have a little bit of shredded iceberg lettuce that I'm going to put on here too. And that is a smash Big Mac. Now the beauty in this is if you fold it, which is very big and hard to fold, you'll see how brown that is. Look at that. So let me go ahead and get these folded up and ready to eat. And if you've never ate a smash burger Big Mac, you should. I rarely eat Big Macs, but this is the next best thing. It tasted just like a Big Mac. I was so happy. It was so good. And let's put together some quick egg roll in a bowl. I've got some onion, some ginger, minced garlic. I've got some meatloaf mix. I like this better than just plain hamburger. It gives the egg roll in a bowl a lot of flavor. I just love it. It is veal, pork, and beef, so it's all three together, which is really great. The flavor is so much more pronounced than just plain hamburger. It's so good. I've got some coleslaw that I've rinsed and drained off. I've got some sesame oil, a little bit of chicken bouillon, some liquid aminos. And we're about to put this into the pan and get the hamburger meat, or excuse me, the meatloaf mix cooked up. So let's get it in the pan and get it started browning. And I've got my I've got the meatloaf mix just about brown. I'm going to go ahead and add in 1 tablespoon of sesame oil and my thin sliced onions that I have cut up. This is 1 whole onion that is just thinly sliced basically. And I'm just going to separate the slices out. That sesame oil, when it hits the heat, smells so good. There we go. Now that's ready to be cooked in with the hamburger meat. I'm going to go ahead and turn this down just a little bit. I had it on a high to get the hamburger done. And I'm going to let this cook by itself for just a minute while I mix the other ingredients together. And I'm going to add in some liquid aminos into this measuring cup. A teaspoon of ground ginger is going in next. And a heaping clove of minced garlic, or a heaping teaspoon of minced garlic is going in. I'm going to go ahead and mix this around real quick. And now I'm going to add what I just mixed in together in this pan and get it all well incorporated. Now that looks good. Now in this part of the recipe you can add in chicken broth, or I just add in some chicken bouillon just because I like the pungent flavor. And then of course we're going to be adding in our cabbage. I have 2 bags of cabbage. I don't know if I'll use both. I may or may not. It just depends. And this is looking pretty good. I think this will probably be enough. I'll use the other bag of cabbage for another recipe. And I'm just going to go ahead and stir this really good so all the different flavors get well dispersed amongst all the cabbage. Now I'm going to turn this on a low heat, well about a 2, and put the lid on and let this cook for about usually 15 to 20 minutes. And we'll see where it is when we come back. And I have garnered the attention of a couple of my little sous chefs here because they smell the food a cooking. And this is what it looks like after you've let it cook for about 20 to 30 minutes. It cooks down. You can cook it as much or as little as you want. Get the cabbage as crunchy or as soft as you want. But this is ready to eat. Let's get it in a bowl. Add a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper to this. And you can put whatever else you want on it. Any type of seasoning or any type of spice or dip or whatever you want. But this is a great meal. I love egg roll, and I love egg roll in a bowl. And this is always a family favorite. It is so good. I told you those recipes were good. Oh, some of our family favorites. And if you haven't already, press that little button down below and subscribe. And ring that bell. That way you'll get a notification every time I put up a video, because you know you don't want to miss any of the good food and fun. And until next time, see you then.